Hello, my name is Garrett J. White. I'm excited to be here with you with Brett Harward, and it's a revolution, or it is a revolution. Now, I want to bring a specific part or aspect to the partnership and to this content that you're getting here as absolute freemium with all the business consulting, the business information about what it is to create in this authentic culture we call business. A few months ago, I got this download, this whole idea, and I shouldn't even say months ago, it was about a year ago, about this idea of what it would be like to not have to be a manipulator. You heard me, not a manipulator and somebody who was always trying to motivate. This was like my whole experience in business. 9.5 years ago when I got involved in banking and real estate and mortgage brokering and building big deals and went from making $1,200 a month as a PE teacher to making $1,200 in a morning to $100,000 a month. As these things started happening for me economically, here were some crazy things that I saw happen. I realized that I was trained in the art, I guess you could call it being a jackass. I don't know how other word I would use to describe it, except for it was a game of manipulation. It was a game of motivation. It was a game of hype. It was a game of if I could learn the right buttons to push in your life, that when I push these buttons, you would always do certain actions. I push this button, you operate this way. I push this button, you operate that way. I push this button, you operate a different way. And this whole world of speaking and selling and business for me was a joke. Now, I don't need to go any further than that because that's what Brett's been covering with you throughout the entire process of being involved here at itsarevolution.com. So what we do here in Extreme Coaching, what I'm going to share with you today is a principle we call authentic influence. Authentic influence, the new consciousness of sales. So selling itself is a crucial piece to your business. If we were to divide your business up into a couple sequences or sections, let's put them up on the board here real quick and we'll look at them. Your business itself operates, lives, and dies in the following image: marketing, sales, and fulfillment. And I think I spelled fulfillment wrong. And you know what? I'm a PE teacher. Get off my back, all right? Seriously. Now, the other part around this then was to deal with what we called systems management. Okay. So our areas then, we have marketing, we have sales, fulfillment. Those are pretty simple. Systems management is the ability to manage each of these areas in sequence. They happen as a funnel. So if I were to look at these a different way, I would look at them in the following. The dollars fall at the end of the bucket, always beginning with marketing or creating the opportunity to influence. Second, with sales. Third, with fulfillment. And I'm going to put it this way. Each one of these areas from section 1 to 2 to 3 were driving to the bottom line, which was profitability, making money. Now, to be able to sell, to be able to influence is a crucial piece. And so for these segments of this video and the next 4 videos are to talk to you about what it is to be an authentic influencer, what it is to create based on inspiration, what it is to truly be able to inspire someone to take the next step. To do this, we have to clearly lay out what is not. You know, there's some teachings that I've been studying recently, some ideas and some concepts that teach us that when a person gets clear about what they don't want, it is just as powerful as getting clear about what they do want. Meaning, as I pick this up, one end of a stick is what I don't want, the other end of the stick is what I do want. If I'm in a relationship or a marriage, it's not working, it's broken, it's not happening the way I want it to, well, I can sit and complain and moan and groan, or I can look at this as a perfect opportunity. An opportunity to see what I don't want in the face of what I do want. And as I lay out these two ideas, this idea of being a, quote, salesperson or salesman or saleswoman or whatever you want to call it, and the idea of being an influencer, that these two exist on the same plane at the same vibration at two ends of a stick. One being maybe what we call upstream, the other being downstream. The one being a game of force, the other being a game of power. The one being a game of fear, the other being a game of faith. The one being a game of scarcity, the other being a game of abundance. Both games at the same place, at the same stick. So in this session, we're going to lay out then just some basics about what that might look like for you. What it means to truly be a manipulative salesperson versus what it means to be an authentic influencer. How to be inauthentic in our manipulating patterns versus authentic in our ability to inspire someone to their next step. Just like you and me. Here, closer from where I was before. Moving into my next step here with you. So as we take this journey together between this session and the next, my goal and my objective is that you understand that our economy has changed. And our economy has changed so much such that if you continue to try to be a manipulative salesperson, if you continue to try to be one who builds momentum based on hype, who builds momentum based on fear, who builds momentum based on scarcity, who builds momentum based on any weak force energy found on this end of the stick, you're going to find yourself very upset, depressed, and ultimately never fulfilled. And the last thing you'll build is what we call a tribe. So let's lay these out, groundwork here, and put them side by side on the flip chart so we can look at them really clearly. Our salesperson and our influencer, our inauthentic manipulator, and our authentic inspirer. So let's put these up. In banking, I was taught, and in the real estate world, I was taught to be a manipulator. It was what I knew. It was people don't know what they want. This was something that they taught us. They don't know what they want, and because they don't know what they want, you get to tell them what they want. I was like, wow, makes sense to me. I guess if you don't know what you want, I'll tell you what you want. One of my friends also told me years and years ago, one of my mentors, he said, Garrett, if you don't have a plan for your life, guess what? Somebody else will plan it for you. And possibly you're that kind of person. Possibly you're a person who has been both a manipulative salesperson and one who's been manipulated. I found myself in this particular situation walking down the Las Vegas mall called the Fashion Show Mall in Las Vegas here a number of years ago when we lived there. I was walking down the mall, minding my own business, and this gal, this exotic woman who was working at this kiosk selling some super ninja mineral creams from some exotic place that I can't even remember the name of, she said, Mister, come over here. Now that's a horrible attempt at the accent she had, but she was deeply accented and it was actually kind of attractive. It was awesome. So I go over there and I'm talking to her and she says, all right, try these on. She's putting creams on me, lotions on me, etc., etc. The reality was it wasn't a need I wanted. It wasn't something I needed at all. And in the conversation, I found myself constantly being trapped with my words. Now, I'm a salesperson who at the time, 3 years ago, was also involved in this kind of selling. It was almost as a way of inspiring me, watching how she was actually manipulating me into buying something I didn't want, something I didn't need, and something my wife ultimately didn't want either. I found myself in this exchange, in this relationship, leaving with a bag full of product, and I'd spent $1,500. I didn't say $150. I didn't say $15. $1,500 worth of who knows what. This is what the world of sales is about. It's about driving and forcing outcomes into people's lives, giving them products they don't want, giving them services they don't need, and giving them experiences that ultimately don't produce the results that they were seeking for. Being an influencer is willing to put yourself in a place of, listen, people may or may not need my services. People may or may not want my products. But I get to lay it up for them to choose. So let's look at the game really quickly and then we'll put it up here on the board. The first step we're into then, as a salesperson, is we're going to consider that a salesman is involved in the games of motivation, manipulation, and ultimately force. While a salesperson, in comparison, dealing with an influencer is one who doesn't rely upon motivation, but who relies upon inspiration. And one who doesn't manipulate, but based on inspiration, invites. And one who doesn't force outcomes, but operates from a position of power, and in that power extends a possibility of instruction. So we're going to look at these three aspects of what it is to be an authentic influencer. We're going to come to understand how the idea of motivation, manipulation, force, and hype, how these are out. They're gone. They're not available to us anymore, and those that choose to continue to play this way are ultimately going to get to lose. So in our next session, we're going to talk deeper about what it is to be a salesman based in the game of motivation.